GoPro as the backup. No, let's have you against here. Oh, between these two, right here.
Okay.
Right here. Perfect. As close as possible so we get good audio.
Okay, great.
Okay. So I
I'm
told
looking
you.
at you?
You were looking at me. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a business show. Okay. The business of rock and roll has changed dramatically over the years.
Totally.
Used to be about sales of records. Now it's about concerts, but it's really just that top few that really make a living that way. Is this helping to keep the industry of rock alive?
I think first of all, there's more opportunities today in rock and roll than ever before because there's so many bands now that can just get onto social media, get their music out there and tour. And there's so many more opportunities where they get to go on the road, they can sell their merchandise, get a following. So the business has more opportunities than it ever was. In the olden days, people had to rely on a record company to promote them. Now they can promote themselves.
But coming here, that's a whole nother level, okay? It's a whole nother level of budget too, right? It's not cheap to do rock and roll fantasy camp.
Well, it's relative, you know, if you're gonna get to jam with the greatest musicians of the world, you're gonna play the biggest venues, you're gonna be mentored by the top rock stars, what's that worth? So, you know, you can go on a cruise, you can, you know, plan a vacation. I think Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp will give you something, will change your life, especially to every musician out there, go through a life-changing experience.
Is this life-changing for some of those musicians who still want to stay in the business? They don't want to get a day job, but they've got to have other sources of income, right? And so is that part of what this is providing?
No, I think what's providing is a person who is a guitarist, who thinks he says he's a lawyer, but he's really a guitarist. Every musician out there is really a musician. They do the other stuff to buy their guitars. And I think what it does for these people is, not that it has to be a business, but it propels them to write songs, to join bands. I can't tell you how many people come over to me and say, I'm in a band now, and I'm full-time, I'm writing songs. And for the rock stars, it attracts them to Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp because it reminds them what it was like when they first started. So they get such an affection for it, and I think that's why we've been in business for so long.
How hard or easy is it to get some big names to do something like this and to, you know, sit there and help people who are not at the level where they are?
Listen, it's been hard over the years to get superstars to come to Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, but once I got Roger Daltrey to do it, and he gave it the blessing, I started next thing with Brian Wilson. I had Slash, I had Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Dave Mustaine. I've had the entire bands of the Scorpions. It's been incredible, the amount of musicians that have worked on Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, and they've done it multiple times because they enjoy it.
Is it harder now though? Because when you look at the names you got in the beginning compared to the names now, they're not as much household names as they were.
Well, the names in the beginning were, they did it and they went through the experience. And now, as they get older, they want me to book younger musicians and different people. And I think once they've done it once, twice, three times, then, you know, they've done it. So they want to give the opportunity for other people.
So you're now doing comedy camps. I saw that. So where else could this go? I mean, is this going to become a cottage industry? Are we going to see rap camps and R&B camps? And I see you've done songwriting camps. Where do you take it from here?
So, you know, in creating Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, the next thing was to do a songwriting camp. And then from there, I was on Adam Carolla's show promoting the movie Rock Camp, and he turned to me and said, when are we doing Comedy Fantasy Camp? So it was really Adam's idea, and he called his friend Jay Leno, and then we were able to do, you know, Comedy Fantasy Camp. We got John Lovett and Caroline Ray and so many other great comedians. I love it because it's only a microphone, but in reality, it's really amazing how many people want to do stand-up.
David, you could retire, of course, if you wanted. This is a lot of work. Why are you doing this? Why is this important to you?
I don't do this for the money. I do this to give back. The music industry was so good to me. I was able to tour with Ringo for many years, produce Dirty Dancing, the Monkees, and I wanted to find something that I never want to quit because I love working. It keeps my mind creative, and I think no one should ever quit. And especially, it's not a job, it's a passion for me. So when I hear from these campers every day how their lives have gone through, are changing by going to Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, it just keeps me motivated.
What's the future of the rock industry? You know, I know myself and my husband love rock and roll, but our kids are into different kind of music, and some people think that it may be dying.
I don't think rock and roll is dying. I think it will always be around, and I think younger kids are getting into rock and roll. You know, we can't compete against EDM, but there's so many people who love playing guitar. I think during COVID, more women started picking up guitars, more people started picking up instruments, and I think there's the future. And I think these songs, listen, the Rolling Stones are selling out stadiums. U2 is selling out stadiums. Kiss just finished selling out millions of tickets. Rock and roll's not dead.
And this is, I think, your 75th, if I counted right. How many more you got in you?
Oh, I don't mind. I love it. You know, my next camp, I'm excited because I got Chad Smith from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And then the summer, I got Dax Nilsson and Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick and Lou Graham from Foreigner. I mean, those songs, people want to play those songs and to play these great venues. Here we are at the Viper Room. They play the Viper Room today. They played the Whiskey a Go-Go. I think if you give people this great experience, 50% of our campers come back. So that's a great sign.
That's a great stat. Wow. Well, thank you.
Okay, great. Let me know when you have some need.
I will send
Thank
you a
you.
copy.